The single most important decision you will ever make in your life is to marry right. It's true. For the largest part of my life, everybody used to bully me and they used to say, oh, she's extra, she's extra. And then my dad would add, oh, but she's extra special. Like always regarded as the surplus, right? Like we just came in with chasing individual rainbows. We are so driven in driving our own agenda that it just doesn't matter how the other person is feeling. I don't think you're ever at any stage prepared to lose a parent. A spouse will remarry, a child will live their own life. Your parent is the only one for whom you're irreplaceable. That's it, right?
That's it, dude. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Vaibhav Munjal podcast. My today's episode is with Mansi Zaveri, who is the founder of Kids Stop Press. It's an amazing platform for children and their parents, particularly for parents to understand how to do parenting right. There are more aspects to it which we have covered in the podcast. Mansi is a founder that I really and deeply respect. Online and offline मैं इनसे बहुत सारे advices लेता हूँ. इन्होंने मेरे बहुत सारे belief systems change किए हैं about life. I asked her a lot of questions that I think she was also not ready for, but it led to an amazing conversation. So let's jump right inside the conversation I had with Mansi Zaveri on Vaibhav Munjal podcast. Hi Mansi, how are you? Welcome to Vaibhav Munjal podcast.
Thank you. I'm very nervous because there is no brief to this podcast. It always makes me nervous for someone who's always super prepped.
I want to give a brief background to the people how I met Mansi. It's such a great story. I met her in Dubai at NAS Summit. It was my first time at NAS Summit and I think it was yours also. So we were all quote unquote networking.
Yeah.
And that is where I met her. I think I learned it from you कि save में आप ना एक नई playlist बना सकते हो. Every person you were meeting, you were adding them on a new saved playlist on.
Yeah, on Instagram, every conference I go to, I don't want to follow that person, so I'll just save their profile onto which summit I met them so I can recollect where I met them.
And we met there, we talked a little and उसके बाद हमने एक Zoom call की थी बीच में. We were just discussing how we run our companies. We were taking advice from each other and giving our suggestions to each other. And उसके बाद I think after a very long time we connected again in Jaipur.
Yes.
And तब I got to know यार मेरे को तो बड़ा मजा आया इनसे बात करके. बोले ये तो बहुत ही next level company run कर रही है.
Yeah, and in that conversation, Vaibhav run at least 50 times that I'm over 40.
Yeah, so
he just couldn't get over the fact that 40-year-olds can be fun.
Yeah, so this is a trauma I'm dealing with. We'll talk about traumas, childhood, parenting. But so I've had an issue with people who are 40 plus. I'm not able to befriend them easily, but फिर मेरे को भी याद आता है तू भी 30 का हो गया.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Get reality check.
Imagine me being 41. Guys, I can't.
Denial में हो सबके साथ होगा, and you'll get cooler.
Yeah, जितना मुझे समझ आता है, you are someone who tells people through your podcast and your company how to do parenting right.
No, how to do parenting right for them. Because it's different for everybody. So there's no right or wrong. You just empower them to make right choices given their circumstances at that point in time through information. And you can't take right or wrong decisions if you are not informed. So my job is to educate them to make informed choices.
Your interaction is more with the parents as compared with the children.
Yes, because children don't know wrong or right or how it's to be done, right? Children are obviously new and you've taken a decision as a man and woman to have a child and to raise a child. So it is your responsibility to at least be informed and educated to raise the child correctly. So never to the child. The child is not always wrong.
So there's a Marlon Brando quote most of us are just trying to get over the bad emotional habits formed in the first 10 years of our life.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, because I think people give very little importance to how you are raised and give very little importance to raising children as well, because they don't realize that everything that we are in the future is actually sown into our childhood. So he's absolutely right that we are doing a lot of undoing that our parents have done consciously or unconsciously to us in our childhood.
एंड आजकल के जब बच्चे लाइक मतलब भारतीय कंटेक्स्ट में लाइक बच्चों को ज़्यादा मॉमी इश्यूज हैं या डैडी इश्यूज हैं?
उनको एब्सेंटी इशू है
ओह नाइस वन, आई राइट दिस.
because neither of them are present, which I think is a bigger problem.
डैम. मैं तो खुश होता था जब मेरे पेरेंट्स पीटीएम पे नहीं आते थे या मेरा प्ले देखने नहीं आते थे. पता नहीं कि तो मैं ऐसे फिल्में देख रहा हूँ, लग रहा है लोगों को याद है मतलब ऐसे लड़की का ट्रॉमा दिखाया है. माई फादर नेवर केम ऑन द पेरेंट्स टीचर मीट. वाई वुड, मतलब मेरी तो बुराई होगी ना पीटीएम पे. तो
Never till you reach 30 or till you reach 40. And I'm going to rub it in. Now it's my turn to rub the 40 into the conversation. But at this point in time, you come back to centering around that epicenter, which is very important when you were a child. तभी आपका validation circle क्या होता है? Nobody, right? You trust this one person blindly. And think of it, right? When a child is just beginning to walk, he has maximum risk-taking ability because he knows if he's going to fall, his parents are going to catch him. And that continues till he's a young adult, 15 or 16, when he knows that even if I make mistakes, there's somebody who's going to catch me, right? Now, that epicenter is suddenly empty. How is that person going to feel? Because you don't have so many friends, or you're not able to communicate clearly, you're not being able to articulate clearly what you're feeling. The only person who understands you is your parent. And if that parent is not around, or it could be a grandparent or someone who's raised you, right? The primary caretaker. If that person is absent, then you don't know who to look at for validation or appreciation or acknowledgement. And I think that missing acknowledgement causes a lot of trauma in a lot of children.
So I never thought of it this way, as like absentee issue. Because I watch a lot of films and like I am into pop culture na, I always felt a disconnect with how parenting was shown in the Hollywood films as compared to Indian films. कि divorce इतना हो रहा है, पापा abandon कर गए वगैरह. And lately the stories I am hearing in India with the increasing divorce rates and like the quote-unquote absentee issues, is the westernization in this regard also now coming to India, where like parents are now doing their own thing and they care lesser about their children. और जो फिल्मों में हम हॉलीवुड में देखते हैं, जो हर फिल्म में है कि या तो पेरेंट्स साथ में, दे आर सेपरेटेड, दे आर डिवोर्स, आज वेंसडे है तो आप पापा के साथ रहोगे, पापा एक बार वेक करने आ रहे हैं वगैरह, ये सब इंडिया में हो रहा है कि वेयर दे आर लाइक डिसाइडिंग टाइम्स, यू दिस इज योर डे विद द जस्ट.
It's happening. I wouldn't say it's happening at the same pace जो Hollywood films में दिखाते हैं, but is it happening in India? Yes, it is happening in India. India as a country, and just recently I was reading this Nikhil Kamath post on ghee. I don't know if you read it, right? Like Indians have a very outward-looking syndrome. We are great adopters of Western culture, leaving behind our own roots, and now in a way we are coming back. Like the production of ghee has been at its maximum because the West is adopting it, and now we're inward looking because we feel like, oh, if the West is doing it, because we've always been ruled by them, right? So that thing of somebody who's ruled over us, that memory in our brain is so strong that anybody who's had the ability to rule over us is so strong that we still adopt that very strongly. And therefore, now we're coming a full circle. So yes, we are going to be in that phase where we are going to be more outward looking. But is it very rampant or काफ़ी सारे घरों में होता है? Yes, it's happening because today we have to also understand that India till now was very well shielded from a joint family system. Now we are moving like 65 to 70% of India lives in nuclear families, right? So therefore that cementing जो एक family आपके लिए करता है, वो नहीं हो पा रहा है. So somewhere the child is alone. If we are becoming dual income households, are we being able to manage that along with being the primary caretaker? I'm not saying the mother has to be the primary caretaker. I'm saying between the mother and father or a grandparent, one person has to be a primary caretaker.
There's this novel also, a show called Sharp Objects. Gone Girl देखी है आपने?
Yeah, I've seen Gone Girl.
हाँ, so Gone Girl भी एक किताब पे बेस्ड है. जिलियन लाइक उनका नाम है ऑथर का. उनका एक शो भी है Sharp Objects. उसमें ना a lot of spoilers है, but उसमें एक मदर दिखाई है. I want to talk about it ना, because मेरे को लगता है it's so dark, but it's so okay, it makes sense. She really likes taking care of the child. सो बीच बीच में हम दिखाते हैं, हमें पता चलता है कि ना द चाइल्ड इज इल अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स एंड वी सी कि वो बच्चे को व्हाट हैपेंड लाइक टेकिंग केयर, मतलब सहला रही है वगैरह. देन रिवील होता है टुवर्ड्स द एंड वो बच्चे के ना खाने में या दूध में एक दवाई मिलाती थी जिससे द किड विल फॉल सिक. तो वो उसको रोज बीमार करती थी एंड देन सो दैट शी कैन हैव दैट मदरली इंस्टिंक्ट कम आउट, शील टेक केयर ऑफ द किड. ओ शिट, मेरा बच्चा बीमार हो गया.
Yeah.
पर वो रोज अपने बच्चे को बीमार करती थी. एंड आई एम लाइक ये क्या देख लिया मैंने.
It's true.
एंड मेरे को लगता है ऑन सम मेटाफोरिकल लेवल और इन सम पैरेलल लेवल we have that kind of a relationship with certain people. या तो पेरेंट्स का हमारे साथ होता है या हमारा पेरेंट्स के साथ होता है कि हम knowingly unknowingly उन्हें बीमार कर रहे हैं एंड लाइक ओ शिट तू बीमार हो गया एंड लाइक देन द साइकिल कंटिन्यूज.
Yeah. So, this is a very classic case of somebody who wants to always be in control, right? And most parents, they misunderstand parenting and taking care of as being in control. So it's somebody who always wants to be on the top, in charge. And you want that child to be dependent on you forever, right? Because it is in many ways a predator and a prey syndrome, right? It's a predator syndrome where you're constantly wanting that person to be under your watch, right? So you will never let it flee. Because if it becomes okay, then he or she is going to escape the ecosystem, right? So in a classic case, I'm not surprised of a parent doing something like that. Obviously, the parent is sick and therefore needs help.
Yes.
But in many ways, a lot of parents do that through verbal abuse.
Yes.
May do that through physical abuse.
Yes.
May do that in so many ways. To increase dependency on themselves so that the child never becomes independent. And you will continue to do that because you want to maintain that authority, that power, that control on your child.
I have a follow-up question. So the classic Stockholm syndrome where you fall in love with your kidnappers.
Yes.
So is Stockholm syndrome prevalent between parents and children?
Yes.
Is it?
But not with everybody. Of course, there are some parents who will want. Of course, and we see that in so many movies, right? Where you don't want your child to be independent because he or she will then do better, right? Or he or she will flee the trap or will speak against you. You will always fabricate their reality, Vaibhav, to make them believe that the world that you are showing them is that perfect world. And I feel like increasingly as humans, forget parents, we're getting so many layers and layers and we're getting so complex and sick in many ways that we're very, I share this on my Instagram, we're chasing individual rainbows, which means that if it works for me, I'm going to go ahead and do it. It doesn't need to work for us. It doesn't need to work for me and my family. It doesn't need to work for my child and me. We are so driven in driving our own agenda that it just doesn't matter how the other person is feeling.
मैं अभी आने से पहले मेरी स्नैपशॉट्स में मैंने एक वर्ड का लाइक सर्च किया लाइक इन माई फोटोज पेरेंट and I want to read something to you. Sometimes I think it's the child's biological duty to kill their parents. And there is a quote from Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. Parents are the bones on which children sharpen their teeth.
Yeah.
मैं इसको एक लेवल ऊपर लेके जाना चाहता हूँ. मैं ऐसे क्यों कह रहा हूँ? दो अलग अलग जगह. एक कॉमेडियन है संजय रजौरा, वो बहुत प्यारी बात बोलते हैं कि पहला युद्ध हमेशा घर में चालू होता है. द फर्स्ट टाइम यू बिकम अ मैन इज व्हेन यू स्टैंड अप टू योर फादर और योर मदर. एंड इसको मैंने एक किताब में पढ़ा था एक चीज़, यू शुड डू वन थिंग एवरी डे एज इफ योर फादर इज डेड. वेरी लाइक क्रेजी,
वेरी प्रोफाउंड.
व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ दिस रिलेशनशिप दैट, लाइक मैंने जो आपको 3 एक्सट्रीम एग्जांपल्स बताए इससे, कि is it the right mindset in certain regard?
There are two parts to it. So when you say that do everything one day, that part of it, my point to that is, why do we need to grow up so soon and grow up so quickly? And if you've had a great relationship with your father or your parents, then it is that one relationship. And I've shared this in my book as well, which is, it's that one relationship you can never walk out of as a parent. As a child, you may walk out, but there are very few parents who may walk out on their children. So having that one anchor in your life just gives you so much grounding, Vaibhav. I come from a space where I had a great equation with my father. So for me to now even to look back with those fond memories, and I didn't want to grow up even when I was 40, knowing my father is there. Because it's that one place that you can just cocoon in and say this is home. The second part of it is where you say about the sharpening of...
yeah, it's the biological duty
Yeah.
to kill your parents.
Again, growing up too quickly, but yes, it's the eventuality which it's very hard to accept. And it really means that you want to make them redundant slowly at different stages in your life by growing up. But again, I would just feel that it's
चलो ग्रोइंग अप टू क्विकली हटा दो, मेरे जैसे इंसान की बात कर लो जो 30 का हो गया. वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट अ टीनेजर हियर.
yeah. But why even at 30 you're too... What have you...
So what's the right age for it? When you say growing up too soon है इसका मतलब then what?
But that's
Is
what
it
I'm
40?
saying. No, it's not. It's possibly never age. You're never at the one relationship which is very hard for you to move out of. Because see, a spouse will remarry, a child will live their own life, your siblings will move on. Your parent is the only one for whom you're irreplaceable. So why do you want to quit that relationship so soon and at any stage in your life? I don't think you're ever at any stage prepared to lose a parent.
मेरे को लग रहा है जो मैंने दोनों तीनों कोट्स पढ़े ना, इट इज बेसिकली मोर ऑफ अ मेंटल माइंडसेट.
Yeah.
ऑब्वियसली कि जो भी ड्यूटी बोली गई है, पहला युद्ध जो घर में चालू होता है, इट्स मोर ऑफ अ मेंटल माइंडसेट. और मान लो लेट्स से इफ से आई फॉलो द फ्रेमवर्क यू आर सजेस्टिंग कि व्हाई डू इट, व्हाई ग्रो अप सो सून, उसकी वजह से मेरे को ऐसा लग सकता है एक इंसान की फुल पोटेंशियल कभी शायद अनवील ना हो. दे माइट हैव टू follow orders, they let's
But that's
say
coming from a very authoritative mindset
yes, and
of
I'm
parenting,
exactly.
right?
So
where
I'm talking
you've
about
not had a great equation with your parents.
आपका जो equation है वो idealized
Right?
equation.
Yeah, so I'm saying the other side of it where you have had.
हाँ.
But my idea is even if you've not had a great relationship, तो भी क्या हुआ? Like the idea of a great person is that you don't need to kill somebody to be successful, or you don't need to hurt somebody to be successful. You can still coexist or chart out your own path without hurting the other
पर
person.
वो तो फिर बागबान वाली स्टोरी हो गई. In the sense कि you are not killing them, but you are being indifferent to them.
No, I don't think that is being indifferent. It is just communicating that our paths are different and that is okay. You can be mutually exclusive and still have a great relationship. When I started Kid Stop Press, for example, I don't think my father knew what... I mean, 10 years ago, I don't even think digital, like 2008 and 2013, like Instagram was just about born and Facebook was 6 years old, right? They didn't know what I was doing. My mom still struggles to answer what I do. But the point is that just so what if they don't understand does not mean that you don't have to take the path you want to take, but you have to work around a way where you can explain to them what you're doing, and that's fine. Like, I was just watching this interview by Falguni Pathak where she had to really rebel against her parents to do what she is doing, and she's like the Tandya queen, and then it's like, first they did not agree to what she's doing. I mean, I've written a whole book on this. If I just look at all the people, the parents I met, and if I look at all the people who are there, they've all asked for whether it is Shlok Srivastav. I mean, his father wanted him to take up campus placement and he said, no, this is not, just give me 1,000 days. If I don't prove myself in 1,000 days, I will take up a job. And he comes from a very humble, modest family before he became who he is. Or if I take Sushmita Sen, right, again, armed forces wanting to be something else. Or if I take an Ameera Shah, who's the MD of Metropolis, both parents were doctors. She chose to do completely something very, very different. Wasn't great at academics, but decided to pursue something completely different. Did not do very well, from a academics front, but still continue to pursue her path. And the paths converge. So you don't have to be killing somebody or hurting somebody or going against them to prove your point, is my point. And yes, the last bit which you said, which is on sharpening their teeth with the bones, that is true, because I truly believe that your kids are born to make you evolve to be a better person. They will test you and they will test you every single day. In spite of having one of the greatest relationships with my kids, does she test my patience? Of course she does. Am I at my wit's end every single day wondering why? Why can't she see that she's walking into a glass wall? but I know she's walking into a glass wall, but I have to let her bang her head. So yes, your children come into this world to make you better human beings and make you evolve into people, and they're going to, one person they're going to test patience off to the maximum is the one they're most dependent on, which is in a lot of cases the mother.
So another like question I have is like there are certain households जहाँ पे 3 बच्चे होते हैं like मैंने एक pattern देखा I think then I heard of it somewhere कि there is a first born is a female, second born is a female, फिर 10 साल बाद there is a guy like taking birth. Have you seen this pattern कि like female until a male comes in the family?
Listen, I am a product of that. We have 4 sisters. So I have 3 elder sisters before me. I think my parents were desperately hoping I'm going to be a boy. And for the largest part of my life, all my chachas and my sisters and everybody used to bully me, and they used to say, oh, she's extra. And then my dad would add, oh, but she's extra special. Like, that's my memory growing up. Like, always regarded as the surplus, right? Like, you just came in. But it didn't hurt because my parents shielded me very well. And I didn't believe what others said. I only believed
So you
what
are
my
the
parents
youngest?
said. I'm the youngest. I'm one of 4. Between me and my eldest sister, there's 11 years. Almost like a parent. I used to take her when I used to get like name, college, my name wouldn't come in the attendance sheet and all that. She would act as my mom. And
I know you hate when I do the honor scale thing, but on a scale of 10, how would you rate yourself as a parent?
I'm trying. I'm work in progress. So I think about 7 or 8. Not bad.
Yeah, no, this is such a good number. What are the interesting depictions of parents in pop culture? Like when I say it, the relationship between a father or a son, or a mother or a son, or just parenting shown in a certain way in films or shows or books, anywhere.
That's a really good question. I should have guessed that I'm coming for a podcast with you and I should have been more prepared. Fun fact, I don't watch a lot of TV. I read a lot of books, but I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I'm going to attempt this. I just recently saw that Call Me Bae, right? I mean, I watch all shows with my kids. So I saw that. And to me, what Minnie Mathur, like Bae's mom's character was, that's the first one that we were talking about, right?
Yes, we were talking about it.
Very typical, right? Like you camouflage the world for your child, making them believe otherwise. So I think a lot of it is that, where you're just not letting your child fall, right? And I'm just giving that comes as a very recent example. I don't think it's a very strong character in its own, but I think the interpretation is very, very powerful. Another one that comes is, I think, probably Ratna Pathak in Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na.
Oh,
Yeah?
that's the hashtag, I think, goals.
To me, that's it, right?
That's it, dude.
Faith, trust. Am I aspiring to get there? Maybe. Or even Aditi's, like Janelia's parents. I think they were quite chilled as well. So I think maybe a little bit of that as
In
well.
fact, this also reminds me Farooq Sheikh in Ye Jawani Hai
brilliant.
Diwali.
Absolutely brilliant, right? To me, again, I think it's a great example. Would absolutely...
Parenting done
yeah,
right.
because I know I sent both my girls at 10 and 14 for 1 month summer camps where they had no access to technology, no access to even pick up the phone and call, no WhatsApp, nothing. My husband, my mother-in-law, everybody was so against it. Like, how can you send a 10-year-old on a camp with zero communication? And I was like, I know my kids. I know that this is important for their growth. I know that they will have a blast. And when they came back, and I say this is because when you love someone, you don't hold them so close. You let them fly and they will come back. And I remember now 2 years later also, they have the fondest memories of that place. और जो आपने एक बार ना वैभव जो value system inculcate किया होता है ना, why I say that is that's exactly to me Farooq Sheikh and Bunny's character, right? Like, it's so deep that I know that they will make the right choices. Very interesting that my dad told me is like, I just want you to remember that when you're walking and you're at a crossroad and you want to take the wrong path, but if you think of me as this is wrong and this is right, and at that crossroad you choose the right, knowing that the wrong is wrong, that's for me parenting well done. So you get that? To me it is that, आप गलत कर रहे हो पर आपको पता है कि आप ये गलत कर रहे हो, इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज होंगे. We are not people who've never done any wrong. I don't come with a halo and I wasn't born this way, right? I've done so many mistakes and so many blunders and I continue to do that. But the very fact that I know I'm making a mistake, fully aware of the consequences, that's it. That's what you need to let your child know. And our classic tamasha, right? I never want to be that parent which Ranbir Kapoor had. Or for that matter, an animal. Oh my God. That is classic unavailability of a parent which can
make you take a rifle in the college.
I mean, the interpretation is very extreme. I know Vaibhav's followers are going to like shoot me down because there might be people who are like great movie buffs and they're going to like, oh, she's completely wrong on it. But I think what people often don't understand is nothing comes out of fiction. Fiction is an interpretation of someone's reality.
I want to know, what are your core values as a parent?
Respect, kindness, and grit. Respect for every single person out there.
So you practice these as a parent?
Yeah. And these are non-negotiable in my house.
Okay, so basically your child will also have to practice these. These are the...
Yes.
आप basically जो parenting institution है उसके अंदर आपने ये बता दिया कि ये core values है इस घर की.
इस घर की core values.
हाँ.
You know, it's very important to communicate very early on with your children कि ये non-negotiable है, ये negotiable है. अगर आपसे गलती हो गई, it's okay. आपने झूठ बोलना not okay, but is it part of the absolute core? I would love to, but if I have to just name 3, it would be these. But अगर आपने किसी से भी बदतमीजी की, you've been disrespectful to anybody younger or elder from any different economic strata, non-negotiables. It's not forgiven.
I have a थोड़ा सा ट्रिगर वार्निंग वाला यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन. मैंने जो इसकी इंटरप्रिटेशंस इन फिल्म्स एंड ऑल देखा, वी टॉक्ड अबाउट वन काइंड ऑफ अब्यूज. जैसे मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया शार्प ऑब्जेक्ट्स का, बट देन यू सेड देयर इज आल्सो वर्बल अब्यूज practiced by parents. I want to talk about sexual abuse. Like, how common, if at all, are the cases of a kid sexually being abused by their own parents?
Obviously, it happens. Because everybody who's, and especially for child sexual abuse, it is always someone who is known to the family, to the child, because that's how they get access to the child. With regards to whether it's your own parent, it's not uncommon, but it's not common either, right? And that scar is just not possible to erase.
100%.
Right? Yeah. Because, you know, I was recently watching, and I love watching movies that involve why a person behaves the way they behave, right? Which is based on psychology and neuroscience. And I was just watching this one movie called, it's on Netflix, it's called The Addicted, where this girl, even at the age of 35, she has a lovely family, she's, you know, happily married, 2 kids, living with her mother, great career, on top of it, everything, but very sexually unsatisfied. And she just gets this addiction of constantly wanting to have sex. And very strangely, the reason when she actually goes to her therapist keeps asking her why. In her childhood, when she was only 10 years old, she was raped by her cousins, right? 2 boys who were her cousins. And imagine that trauma has led her to be a sex addict at the age of 35, blowing everything that she ever has up because that trauma was never healed. So imagine, that was cousins. If it was a parent,
dude,
she thought like she was never good enough for whatever number of years because she hadn't healed from that trauma. So everything that happens in your childhood is going to manifest in adulthood.
Do you think like Jeevan is all about your journey from जो आपका पहला एक inner voice आपको बोलती है that I'm not good enough, then आपकी process of healing होती है where you learn, no, I'm me, I'm self-sufficient. Because I'm not good enough is something I think a lot of people like struggle with, including myself, in different situations. हर जने के साथ होता होगा. Maybe मेरे में कोई कमी है, ये है. My therapist told me I have an issue of, I don't know if I told you, I might have told you, personalization. Where I start thinking मैंने ही कुछ किया होगा, अरे नहीं नहीं मेरी ही गलती होगी. So I am not good enough. Say no, I am enough. Is life in a way about that?
I think that would be so inclusive, right? Like that's
Yeah.
just about I.
Yeah.
My life is not about I, and life is not about I. Because then you're just thinking about yourself and nobody else.
Wow.
You know, something as simple as I'll give you, which is if my child comes back home with an unfinished dabba and I start ranting, "Arey, maine subah 5 baje utke banaya, I took so much effort in this and that," and it actually happened between my daughter and me. And you know, my daughter came home at 6:30 and she's like, and I just started on this. I don't know why. I was like, I made it. I woke up this morning. You know how hard I worked, this, that. And she's like, Mom, I am tired. Give me a break. Whether within, and because, you know, because I am very aware of my actions, my words, and who I am, in 10 seconds, I realized, Mansi, what are you doing? Why is it about you? Why is it I? I said, I am sorry. I went and hugged her. And my daughter cried for the next 15 minutes. And she's only 15. She's like, Mom, I'm tired. I'm out since 7:30 in the morning. I've had a really long day. I'm just tired of everything that's happening around me. There's just so much, you know, study pressure, this pressure, that pressure. Can you just give me a break? And I realized it's not got to be about me. In every relationship, it's not got to be about me. And the journey is not about moving from am I good enough to I am good enough. It's part of the journey.
Part of
it cannot be the whole journey.
When Matthew Perry passed away last year, so there is this writer that I talk a lot about, Heather. She wrote an article on New York Times.
Yeah.
Did I make you read it?
No, but I read a lot of Heather stuff, so I hope.
Oh, you read Ask Wali? You know, now I have interviewed her.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, थोड़ा सा शो ऑफ करना पड़ेगा. वो इतना इम्प्रेस हो उसने कहा आई थिंक आई शुड इंटरव्यू यू. मेरे को मजा आ रहा है. So I'll read something to you. Okay, these are the first few paragraphs. Towards the end of Matthew Perry's autobiography, he wrote about an encounter in which his mother told him she was proud of him. He wrote, I always wanted her to say that to me my whole life. When I pointed this out to her, she said, what about a little forgiveness? Heather writes, this is the sound of shame perpetuating itself in a family. Two people longing for acknowledgement and absolution and answering a direct request for love in that moment with a direct request of their own. And I'm like, holy shit.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, it explains, and the next line is shame is a dominant theme in Mr. Perry's memoir. So, this line, I just want to say it again because this is what Heather's writing is. Two people longing for acknowledgement and absolution and answering a direct request for love in that moment with a direct request of their own. वो बोल रहा है कि यार like I always wanted you to say this. बोल रही what about a little forgiveness? दोनों का अलग ही trip चल रहा है.
Yeah, but that's true. And it's just lack of communication.
It's lack of communication.
And it's also lack of, lack of sharing. You know, a large part of Indian families, because we follow a very authoritarian style of parenting, we forget that, so what if someone is up here? Why can't we communicate to that person that this is all that I wanted? And this is a classic case. You know, my sister, my eldest sister, she is very bright academically and she's a CA and, cost accountant, and she's just brilliant. And for the longest time, at least till when I was growing up, my dad wanted me to be a CA. And I was like, okay, I'll do it because I was a very bright student. I could have done it. I even passed the foundation exam. I did all of that. And then I was very lucky that I had the courage to stand up and say, I can do it, but I don't want to do this. This will not make me happy. And for a large part of the family, it was very big for them to digest because they're like, CA or, CA, doctor, engineer के सिवा कोई career नहीं होता. Like MBA was just about coming up, right? So they're like, okay, and I wanted to do advertising and communication, and they thought this is not what intelligent people do, right? And it took my father a lot to kind of say that this, what you're doing is great. And if it makes you happy, it's equally good. But I think the good part in our relationship was that I told him that I don't want to do this. I am not her. I don't want to be her. I am me. But I think very few people have that courage to stand up and say that. And अगर आप वो नहीं बोलोगे ना, जिंदगी ऐसे ही बीत जाएगी और आप वो बात कभी नहीं बता पाओगे. And then you will realize I've never had a great relationship with my father. Why? Because you did not communicate. अगर आप तभी communicate करते, your relationship would have been very, very different.
I want to talk more about the scars of parenting. Another thing that I've seen a lot in pop culture, and I just think about it a lot, is a child being scarred because he gets to know one of their parents is cheating on their, like, let's say father is cheating on the mother, or mother is cheating on the father. I've seen a very accurate depiction of it in this show called Mad Men. Where there's this little girl. She knows that his father is a womanizer. She literally catches him with another woman, and it like scars her. She becomes very cold and she starts giving very bad replies to the parents वगैरह, and she is not able to forgive the father. Father try करता रहता है करे, but and like, bro, this was too real. And the way they showed it in the show, like, it was like, holy shit. मतलब I started feeling bad. ये क्या देख लिया यार मैंने? तो मतलब किस लेवल पे लेगा शो? कोई कैसे 8-9 साल की बच्ची देख रही है कि father is with someone else. She catches him in the act. It's होता है ना कि जब बोलते हैं कि parents seeing his, like a child seeing his parents having sex. Imagine seeing your parent have sex with someone. How prevalent is that, and like how much would it scar? Because we are talking about all kinds of scars and abuse. ये भी तो abuse ही है, ये तो किस level का abuse होगा for a child?
It exists. Again, hard to put numbers on it. From a child's perspective, it becomes extremely traumatizing, because if it is a girl, she may believe that this is what men do, and it could have impact on loyalty, fidelity, what relationship they may just not want to have. They may not trust or want to belong to a relationship. It could be many different ways. If it is a boy who has seen it, who is a child, they may believe that this is what men are supposed to do, right? And this is what the women are supposed to. So is it going to impact your relationships in the future? 100%. If you're asking what is the impact on the child, it is a classic case of PTSD, where you will feel this, and in every child, Vaibhav, it will manifest very differently. Some may just fear sex. In every relationship or every moment, you have these triggers, right? We all have our triggers. For that child, it might become a trigger for them when they are having a relationship. Like, you will just see the body language stiffen up, right? You may just see they may run away. They may have commitment issues. They may reach like 80% of a relationship and withdraw. Or they may become again people who want people to victimize them in different ways, sexually, physically, verbally, differently. So does it impact a child? Yes, it does impact a child, and it can be an extremely, extremely traumatic experience.
There's a very interesting depiction of a mother-son relationship in Wake Up Sid, where like Sid is making fun of his mother क्योंकि उन्हें इंग्लिश बोलनी नहीं आती. वो बहुत खतरनाक था, because वो एक जगह बोल भी देता, आप तो इंग्लिश भी नहीं बोल पाते, क्यों कर रहे हो ये सब? And like, bro, this is, it's like,
but so is English to English.
English to English also, right? Like, like it makes you, and I think then Anupam Kher's character like stands up for the mother, and like, you can't talk to your mother like that. So that is also one depiction which I think of. And then you see the whole redemption arc, where you see that both of them coming together. One of my all-time favorite films is about a father and a son relationship, Udaan. I think that's the movie which made me shift to Mumbai and pursue filmmaking.
Really?
Yeah, that's the film. And I also like get very fascinated by the mothers. Particularly, I haven't heard fathers do it. I don't know if it is right or wrong, where they are like, अगर तुम कुछ गलत कर ही रहे हो ना, तो हमारे सामने कर लो. तो I'm not sure of how it works. Is this relationship that you see in a father and son in that like उड़ान जहाँ पे वो बच्चे से बोलता सेक्स करे and he gets disappointed, sex नहीं किया अभी तक, and there is a scene where he makes him smoke in front of him and the father is getting off on it कि मेरा बेटा smoke कर रहा है, वो तो थोड़ा toxic हो गया. But like what do you think of these mothers? You are like, is it right parenting in some aspects? And I'm talking about the subjective opinion. तुम कुछ गलत कर रही हो ना, तुम हमें बता के करो, मेरे सामने कर लो. Is it? And I want to also talk about how it can get bad, because I don't think the virtue of it can have the dark sides to it also. Because I think इसमें control seep in करता है.
I'll be honest, again, I think a lot of parents do that wanting to exercise control. Maybe you're right. I think it's also because they want to safeguard. First of all, they need to very clearly understand wrong is wrong. Am I going to tell my daughter, oh, you can smoke in front of me, smoke with me first? No.
What do you think of the mothers who let, or the fathers who let their kids smoke in front of them?
See, I think each to their own. I don't want to comment.
क्योंकि alcohol भी तो होता ही है.
Right? Like today somebody may say, oh, but if your child is doing, you are okay with this, if your child is doing this. Again, come back to your core values as a family. What is okay with you, what is not okay with you, right? As a parent, am I going to tell my daughter, oh, you can smoke in front of me, that is okay? No, smoking is not good, period. If she still decides to do that, her choice. Would I want to know about it? I mean, if I know about it, I can do something about it, I can help you. If I don't know about it, there's very little that I can do about it. Would I want to know about it? Would I trust and I will find out? Am I like helicopter Ela where I will like, smell the clothes after the child has come home? Yeah, maybe I would. But that's not coming because I want to spy. That's because I want you to be safe. Right? Like there's a difference.
This is where it gets tricky, I think. No?
It does. And I very clearly tell my daughter as well and to everybody else, I'm a parent, I'm not your friend. I'm very clear about it. You can have 100 friends. They're not thinking about your safety. They're thinking about having fun. I'm thinking about your safety first. Nobody else is doing that. And I'm going to be a parent. So if, sometimes if they want to say like, just shut up over there, I'm like, no, don't shut me up.
Okay. So this is where I wanted to get. यहाँ पे चीज़ें interesting हो जाती है. Because I think it can fuck a child up because a parent has that power at all times where they can stop being a friend. At any time, they have the veto power.
Yeah.
No? You're like, no, I'm your friend. Are you seeing someone? अरे हम तो दोस्त हैं ना. And the moment you are like, भाई, मैं तो फलानी लड़की को घर लाऊंगा. No, not this. हम इतने अच्छे भी दोस्त नहीं हैं. या मैं फलाने लड़के को घर लाऊंगा.
I mean, do I choose my daughter's friends? No. Is she going to let me choose her friends? No. Am I a friendly parent? Yes. Do I know what's happening in her life? Yes. And it's not one fine day that you decide and she's going to tell you, oh, this is happening in my life. It's a summation or culmination of many conversations. But the boundary is very clear. I am your parent. I will think about your safety first. Am I going to say, oh, drink in front of me first? I mean, if she is at that age where she is legally allowed to drink, I will be like, okay, I would prefer you drinking with me first, just so that I know you can handle it. I know that it is safe because our bodies, young adult bodies are not meant for it.
Now, I want to talk about a very comfortable topic called sex. How does it work in regard to sex when it comes to parents and the relationship of children, particularly with these moms and dads who are like, beta bata ke karo sari cheezein. How do boundaries work when it comes to sex in regard to a relation between a mother and a daughter or a mother?
Okay, you have to understand we're not doctors. Okay, so we don't prescribe things. Okay, there's no prescription. It is, and why I'm saying that, and it's very powerful. If you have a headache or you have diabetes or you have blood pressure, this is the prescription. Right? Like I will give you medicine which will lower the sugar content or lower your blood pressure. Parenting is not prescriptive. There is no set formula that I will do this in this situation. Not happening. There are conversations and you have to understand at what age you're dealing with what. At the age where the child is a minor, dealing with under 18, am I going to be okay, you can do what you want? No. Like I said, it is about building a relationship that you can have that conversation in the first place. If your child is not even talking to you, then what is the point? They're going to go ahead and do whatever they want. They can find remedy in sex. It can be their biggest way of relief. And we have to all understand our kids are going to do what they want to do, in what boundaries and what capacities. Like I said, like my dad said, when you're at the crossroad choosing between the right and wrong, if that thought comes that this is not going to be something that is okay, this is not prescribed in our family values, and I'm not saying make our parents happy, but will not be something that we do as a family, then maybe that's not okay. So I'm not saying, am I going to tell my daughter, oh, it's okay, you have to tell me and do it? No.
A lot of questions here. It might sound like a dumb question, but I'm asking it with a lot of sincerity. Do parents know that their kids are having sex?
Parents know everything. We are antaryamis. Like I tell my kids, we have 1,000 eyes. And I am telling you, a mother's gut instinct, you cannot challenge that with anything in the world. Okay, and I very proudly say a mother's gut instinct, and I don't mean anything derogatory to the fathers, but you just cannot. If we have a gut instinct, we have a gut instinct. We just know it. I can just look at my child and I know she's had a good day, bad day, what's bothering her, why is she wanting to do this. We can just know it.
And fathers don't have that superpower.
No. Fathers, of course, are very, very intuitive as well.
But mothers have.
But mothers is different. All the fathers watching, don't hate me.
थोड़ा और इस पर डीपर जाते हैं. Let's say कि when the kid is born, ये बोल रहे हैं हमारा बच्चा है, but mothers like give birth to the child. I don't know, मतलब कभी होता they go through the whole process वगैरह. Don't you think a mother's equity share should be higher as compared to the father?
No, I don't think so.
It's like कि हम दोनों का मतलब because आप किसी भी मदर से बात करो बोलते हैं कि यार हम इससे
You know, I heard this beautiful poem that Pankaj Tripathi narrated. Like it popped on my reels, and oh my God, like I think what a father does is just so understated. Just because a mother gives birth, she should not have larger equity. I mean, if I just look at my husband and me as parents, I'm a very detached parent. And when I say detached does not mean involved. Detached means I have trained myself to look at it from the outside. If my daughter tells me something mean, I will not internalize it because of the way that I'm training myself to be. But is he a lot more concerned? Is he a lot more involved? Is he a lot more sensitive? Can he just go weak in his knees for his girls? 100%. If I look at my dad, exactly the same. Like there is nothing in this world that I would have asked for and my father wanted to do. And I don't mean materialistically. I mean just about anything. And I don't think that a mother's equity, because it's about birth is one part of it. And you are talking about today people's birthing options being so different. Like example.
What options being different?
Birthing options, like having a child.
Achha,
like think of it, like Priyanka Chopra has not even birthed her child. But does that mean that she and Nick will have different equity? No. So it's not only just because you went through that 9 months and labor and whatever, your equity is higher. No.
Very interesting territory, I think. आप बताओ like
why is it interesting?
नहीं मेरे को ऐसा लगता है because मेरे को बहुत सारी चीजों में ना यहाँ पे
and I think when you are thinking of my equity should be higher than my partner's. Again, I'm not thinking of a partnership. You've got to have it a win-win for both, right? You cannot have double standards of saying, oh, I want an equal partner, but in parenting, I have higher equity. Then there's no equality, no? If one has more equity than the other. You've got to make it a win-win for the both of us. And we're also forgetting that different parents have different skill sets. What skill sets I bring to the table, my husband may bring completely different skill sets to the table. So he may be taking on a very different sort of load than I would be.
जैसे मेरे को एक ना मैरिज के उससे मेरी समझ कम है, so I want to understand कि जब एक लड़की की शादी हो रही होती है ना तो उसको मैंने देखा है बहुत जगहों पे कि मम्मी आके लड़की को बोल रही है आज से आपके मम्मी पापा ये हैं. And she said, अच्छा.
I think he's watching too many crappy Hindi movies.
No. I'm talking about real shit. Like genuine, legit stuff.
Yeah.
ये मैंने किसी फिल्म में नहीं देखा है और मैंने देखा ये क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में in like many different situations where they suddenly have to call like two new people that had nothing to do with mummy, papa. You get added to a new family group, and I don't know, matlab ki suddenly having a new mummy, papa, is it fair? And like, क्योंकि I think the pressure of the female having to call the guy's parents mummy, papa, I think in my limited understanding is higher. कि अब ये आपके नए मम्मी पापा है बिकॉज आपको इनके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना है. अब नई कोर सडनली देयर आर न्यू कोर वैल्यूज. अब अगर मानसी जी ने बताया था द कोर वैल्यूज आर रिस्पेक्ट एंड ये अब ये वाली कोर वैल्यूज अप्लाई नहीं करती.
इट्स नॉट सडनली कि आप ये हैं आपके नए मम्मी पापा, राइट? अगेन एवरीथिंग डजंट नीड टू बी either or. It can be an and, right? And again, it depends on how you embrace it, right? Like in my case, I possibly connect with my mother-in-law better than my mother.
Yeah.
Right? She's younger, she's very hip, she's very cool. She's like bro, right? So, but why did that relationship happen? Because I wasn't looking at like, oh, she's my husband's mother. To me, I embraced that relationship. And I also feel that I could do it because I was much younger. I was very amiable. ऐसे preconceived notions नहीं थी कि ये wrong है, ये right है. You know, I think somewhere your generation comes with excess information and therefore excess baggage. And I think in my times, and again, I'm 40, you're 30, I'm rubbing it in, we were far more adaptable, open. We didn't look at everything with a magnifying glass to find faults in it, right? You embrace what works for you, you drop what doesn't work for you. It's not about नए मम्मी पापा, it's about can it be an extension, because अगर आप उसको embrace नहीं करोगे, आप उसको respect कैसे करोगे?
सही बात है. Very true. First the embrace part comes in, then the respect comes in.
You know, we recently went on a trip with both my mom and his mom, and I don't see a differentiated relationship or respect or values or any of that between the way he was with either of the mothers, right? So for me, it is about equality and it is about embracing of both. And I think that's where the partnership comes in. You have to marry right. Like I think the single most important decision you will ever make in your life is to marry right. It's really that, in my opinion. It's really that. Like just yesterday was my husband's birthday and we were talking about this, that I think a large part of who I am, and I think a lot for the 30-year-olds who are still looking for that perfect partner, I think both my husband and I are extremely flawed. But I think we got rid of a few of the flaws because we married right.
Wow.
And we married young.
How young are we talking about?
I was 25 and he was 28. And maybe people find it really weird now that, oh my God, like you didn't even know what you were getting into.
No, this is the normal age.
But I just somewhere feel that आप जितना ज़्यादा प्री-कंसीव्ड नोशन या जितना आप अपने आप को बिल्ड करने में लगाते हो ना, वो उतना ज़्यादा आप ईगो को इन्फ्लेट कर रहे हो. And then everything that doesn't seem to match that stature that you've built will not cease to excite you.
Yeah.
Because till date, the both of us believe, and I believed the same thing when I was 25. Who am I? I'm a nobody. But yeah, together we're something.
Right.
And when you have that sort of attitude, I think it's very different.
Have you seen Jigsaw by Daniel's Law?
No. No, I haven't.
It's a set about marrying, and he explains why he thinks it's okay to be single, like forever. You don't always have to marry. He uses the analogy of a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
All of us think that the one partner will come and he will complete our puzzle.
Yeah.
The partner is making his own puzzle, and then you try to cram your pieces into
Yeah.
each other. And
Yeah.
you were like, what picture did I end up with? This is not
Yeah.
mine.
But see, again, the whole point is that your partner is not the one who's going to complete you.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at him to complete me.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at fitting that jigsaw puzzle perfectly right. Because there will be some days where it will fit, some days we'll be poles apart. The part which I think is important is to embrace you just the way you are, right? And it's easier said than done. Like every day the river does not have to flow in the same direction, at the same speed, at the same temperament, right? It changes its mood, it changes its speed, it changes its height every single day, right? So the point being is that he's not here to complete me. I have to believe that I'm complete by myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? He can accentuate but not complete.
Absolutely. Wow. Nicely said. How much interest do kids take in their lineage these days? कि मुझे नाना जी के बारे में बताओ, दादी के बारे में बताओ.
Oh, a lot. I mean, again, I think it's different in different.
Oh, in your household they take a lot.
Yeah, they take
Wow.
a lot of interest. Like my kids know my parents' date like by heart. Like they just laugh over it every time. We often forget that lineage is nothing but stories,
Yes.
right? And kids love storytelling.
They do. They do.
And storytelling in any form. जब वो नाना नानी दादा दादी मॉम डैड चाची caretaker किसी के पास से भी आ रही है, it's always great to hear stories. Like I keep telling everybody, I am a product of the stories that I've shared. Like I am the person out of all the interviews that I've done, I am who I am today because of all the stories that I've shared. Because I don't think in a lifetime somebody can have so many stories, so many experiences without meeting so many amazing people. And everybody is amazing. So it's not only like, okay, if you meet a Shah Rukh Khan, that story is going to tremendously change your life. Meeting anybody with any story can change your life. Or add value to your life. Not everything, it doesn't need to be at an inflection point.
So you have in a lot of ways coached or like given direction to parents over the years. Have you also done it for teachers?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
You know, हमें हमेशा लगता है that बच्चे को बुली करने वाला या तो उसका खुद का दोस्त होगा या पेरेंट्स होंगे या चाचा चाची या some family member or somebody in the building. We believe कि teachers are God, right? Like वो तो कुछ गलत कर ही नहीं सकते. But teachers can be very condescending or very mean, very nasty. They can determine whether you love a subject, you hate a subject, whether you love something about yourself or not. There was this one child who came to me and she had the worst relationship with food. And she was obese when she was a child. She's like, Mansi, I was at my peak weight of 90 kilos at age 14 or something. And the teacher said to me when I entered class that day, लगता है आज एक आलू पराठा ज़्यादा खा लिया है.
Oh.
She's like, and I can just, thinking of that moment when she told me and tears just rolling down because she's like, uske baad, I have just looked at food as something of hate, like her relationship with food and that teacher completely shattered her. And she's like, I became the skinniest version of myself at 25 before I got married. I used to wear excess and I used to look in the mirror and hate myself. And she's like, when I was marrying, I asked my husband, am I thin enough? And he's like, you're excess. Now, isse zyada, where will you go, right? You're wearing like a size 0. Like, where are you going to go beyond this? And she's like, that day, it took that one person to pick me up and say, okay, you're fine now. Like you are good as is. So teachers can have a very, very strong influence on children, and I don't think they should take their roles lightly. Look at it from a movie's perspective, right? Like whether it was Tare Zameen Par, you just needed that one teacher to kind of pick you up and say, this is who you can be.
Absolutely.
Right? For that one teacher to say that this is who you are. Right? Or for that matter, the movie Hichki, right? Again, you just need that one person to come into your life and say, you're not bad. And agar aap dekhoge, large part of the subjects, and for everybody who's watching, you included, think of all the favorite subjects that you have. And you will remember those teachers. And maybe those subjects became favorite because of that teacher. Think of all the subjects that you hated. And was it because of the teacher? So I don't feel that there are bad students. There are definitely bad teachers.
What's your one weakness as a founder?
I sometimes come up with an idea, and I come up with many ideas, and I wanted it to be executed just the way I had envisioned it, but unfortunately I cannot execute everything, and it becomes limiting. And to embrace that, that it needs to get executed, like done is better than perfect, is something that I struggled with for a very long time.
I appreciate the honesty. This is a question I'm asking everyone. One weakness as a founder.
It's a very tough one.
Have you seen Made in Heaven?
Yeah.
All of it?
No.
I thought like it might be a show where you would find a lot of insights.
So I have a problem, which is I don't like watching anything that has a lot of seasons. If I start something and I have to finish it, means I have to watch all the episodes that same night. So therefore, I don't watch a lot of shows which have seasons. Does everybody else have that problem? Have you encountered people like that?
It's quite the opposite actually.
Oh.
People like to watch season-based and episode-based things. They don't have the stamina or the patience to watch a 2.5 hour movie in one sitting. So yeah, like, तू 2.5 hour का मेरे को ना 20-20 मिनट के एपिसोड दे दे. It just motivates them a lot.
फिर binge watching क्या होता है? वही होता है.
वही होता है कि आप 2.5 घंटे की चीज को टुकड़ों में देख रहे हो, बट यूजली उसके ना हाइज एंड लोज भी थोड़ा अलग तरीके से.
नहीं, मतलब it's exactly the same share. It's just आपको वो 20 मिनट के एपिसोड में देख रहे हो और आपको बोल रहे मैं एक और देख लेता हूँ. तो सेम ही हुआ ना.
सेम ही चीज आप लाइक सर्व कर रहे हो बट इन अ डिफरेंट वे. अनदर कंफर्टेबल टॉपिक, डेथ. सो लोग विल किस एज में लिखते हैं इन जनरली व्हेन दे आर?
I think COVID taught everybody to write a will very early on. We saw a lot of our friends ruthlessly document every single thing, every single detail, craft their will very early on, because I think everybody saw death so up close, personal, that it just seemed like the most prudent thing to do. So जो पहले आप 70-75 साल में लिखते थे, अब आप 30-35 साल में लिखते हैं.
30?
You better have a will. Do you have it? Do you own something?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
मेरा एक कैमरा विनायक को दे देना. Mr. Beast made a video about like this, कि when he dies, like क्या है, देखा वो क्या था?
So he's like, I have 3 of my best friends who I started my YouTube channel with. So when I die, what I want them to do is the last to put their hand off my grave. So मतलब ऐसे कि everyone has to keep their hands on my grave, and the last one to remove it gets my channel.
पूरा लाइफ ही गेमिफाई कर दिया उसने. So आपने अपनी will लिख ली है.
Yeah.
And you can change your will.
Of course.
Like you can underline or cross things. Succession reference.
Of course.
Like you can keep updating it. आप हर साल कर सकते हो. आज मेरे बच्चों ने ये किया. इस बार
वो बहुत मायोपिक व्यू है ना अपने will का और अपनी लाइफ का.
हाँ. Yeah, I'm just asking stupid questions so that we get like masala.
No, there's no masala there, because it's something that you're doing as a preparation. Maybe in COVID it was a little bit serious where you thought it's an eventuality and you better be prepared for it. Now it is more refining it कि हाँ अगर ये हुआ तो.
अभी कोई एक लीगल पॉडकास्ट देख रहा था. They had said कि आप अपने कुत्ते के नाम पे भी will छोड़ के जा सकते हो. You can do anything in the will.
Yeah, you can. But do I threaten my girls every day कि तुमने आज ऐसे behave किया, तुम्हारी will में से नाम कैंसर? No, that drama doesn't happen. So if you think that's what you were hoping for, dude,
No.
that does not happen.
These are the things I genuinely...
Do we talk about it with them? Either no.
Yeah.
Like what they really want to inherit is all my accessories for a strange reason.
Oh.
Yeah, they because that's one thing I'm really very passionate about, and my organizing skills. Like if there's one thing, like we want to just inherit all of that. I have a very fine eye for accessories and jewelry, and I'll be like, okay, this is something I really want to.
Since you are an author yourself, recommend us 3 of your favorite books.
I'll recommend 3 books that really worked for me. One was Rick Rubin's
Creative Act.
I loved it. It also gives you a little bit of a grounding feeling.
Yeah, it does. Every time you read it, you're like, bro, zen.
And that makes me feel like, and because you asked the author part of it, could I have done it or could anybody have done it? It makes you realize that koi bhi kar sakta hai. You were just meant to do it because you could do maximum justice to it. And everybody is gifted, but some people can take it to the finishing line sometimes, and that's why. So you were meant to do it. The second book, which actually really changed my life, was reading The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali. And it's not only for parents, it is largely for anybody who wants to live more consciously. It was a game changer for me to just say how I can shed ego and why does ego come and how does the inner child manifest itself in our acts in adulthood, right? And it helped me to go back into my childhood, to work on my inefficiencies, correct them, forgive, right? And then move on. Because it's not like our parents don't make mistakes. Of course, they make mistakes. But I always tell people, and for one of the talks that I had on my book, I had this boy who didn't make it to IIT, and I asked him that, I know grandparents who come for my talks, I know parents who come for my talks, but this boy came and he said, I hate my parents and I will never forgive them. I told him that your parents came from lack of information, and if they knew that IIT is not the only way to prove that you're going to be successful and the only way to prove your caliber as a human being, then they would have already done that. But they're coming from lack of information. So forgive, because forgiveness is the key to all happiness. So I feel it made me forgive. It made me realize that all I have is now. It made me live in the moment. It made me operate from a place of who am I, right? I'm nobody. And the minute you start believing that, you basically have nothing to lose then.
Yeah.
But मेरे पास कुछ है ही नहीं. Right? So, what will I lose? So, when you come from that place, it becomes so powerful because then you're going to scavenge through life, right? Because आपके पास कुछ है ही नहीं, तो पाने के लिए that ability to scavenge is so high that you're going to give it your best. And let's look at a third one that really changed my life. The Artist's Way is a great way, I'm forgetting the author's name, but it's a great way, especially for creative people, to kind of just take a break and reinvent themselves in many, many, many ways. Right? Because sometimes we all get into the trap of the doing, right? So it really helped me as a creative person to have these creative dates with myself. Like every Thursday, I have a no meeting day. I don't meet anybody. I meet a lot of other people, but I don't meet anybody at work. I don't, I don't talk work with anybody. I do my own thing. I do whatever I feel like. And that kind of gives you breathing space and a more macro view of looking at things and learning about different people. I could just be sitting and doing nothing, or just reading, or just being at a coffee shop and observing people. I love watching people because it gives me a lot of bandwidth to break away from finding answers in the obvious.
Crazy. That's, I think, one of the things which I appreciate the most about you, how you have sorted these parts where you have to live life. I think that's what I like about you the most.
Yeah.
कि ठीक है, company चल रही है, parenting वाला पूरा angle है, but you're also very excited and curious, and मेरे को वो fundamentals, I think that attracted me the most, like the last time, कि यार ये कितने sorted है चीजें.
Yeah.
वो अच्छी है. Amazing, Mansi. Like, are there things that I might not have discussed yet that you would like to talk about?
No, I mean, I'm good. It's your show, so I'm okay with whatever you're
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I mean, I was like a little zonked because I was like, okay, I wasn't ready for these questions, but it's okay. And I was very pleasantly surprised that that you, like I said, right, like everybody who often, because of what they see on social media, what they see on Instagram, they often feel like, oh my God, this person must be really, you felt that, right? Like she must be very boring, she must be very serious. I don't know why he decided to meet me in Jaipur, by the way. But I think the persona changes, right?
What changed for you?
You still think I'm boring.
No. You said na you were surprised. Like I thought.
No, I mean, I catch up with people in every city that I go to. And
No, I thought अभी जब आपने podcast किया तो you were taken by surprise की.
No, I mean, it's taken by surprise, isn't like nobody's asked me questions like these and so directly before, so it was different. But like I said, that people often think on Instagram that I'm fiercely boring, and I'm
It's not the case. And I have had a real hand experience, and then उसके बाद जब audition pass हुआ, then I decided इनके साथ तो podcast करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah. Audition pass, like guys, if you are ever meeting him, disclaimer, be on your guard because आपका audition चल रहा है.
Yeah, 100%. I am always, the camera is always rolling.
Yeah.
Always.
You know, very early on when I started Kidstop Press, somebody told me that for a founder, every conversation is a pitch. I've not forgotten that line
100%.
till this date.
And you know, मैंने एक Jerry Seinfeld का एक podcast देखा था. I have seen it and written. It's always on. And Ray Bradbury, one of my favorite writers, also says you cannot sit anything out. कि नहीं आज नहीं, जैसे आप जो Wednesday भी बोल रहे हो, the days when you absorb, let's say your absorb day जो होते हैं, you don't sit anything out कि यार मैं 2 महीने ना बाली चला जाऊंगा, अभी मेरे को कुछ नहीं चाहिए. आपका ऑन हमेशा रहती है वो चीज. यू माइट नॉट यूज इट इन द वे यू थिंक यू आर यूजिंग इट, बट योर सबकॉन्शियस इज ऑन.
Oh, listen, 100%. So I don't think any meeting is a wasted meeting.
हाँ, मीटिंग लाइव.
But I'm just saying meeting live, any part of it, because you don't know how it's going to ladder itself. So the difference between the two of us when we were in Jaipur was that I was in that moment, you were doing the audition.
This is okay, I have to read this.
You didn't react to that.
No, I am coming to this because बहुत easy है बोलना नहीं मैं ऐसा नहीं कर रहा था. I'll come to that. We never sit anything out. We are cups constantly and quietly being filled. The trick is knowing how to tip ourselves over and let the beautiful stuff out.
Very profound. ये सब lines आप मतलब कहाँ save करते?
मेरे को पता नहीं ऐसे ये.
And then you remember also that
you know ना, मतलब one of the things the people don't know about our phones is they have a very good search engine now.
Yeah.
Like if I write the word Mansi, तो एनी टाइम मेरे को आपके कोई पोस्टर मेरा सेव्ड है वगैरह, लोगों को टेक्स्ट बेस्ड नहीं पता था. लोगों को लगता था इमेज बेस्ड. द टेक्स्ट बेस्ड लाइक सर्च इंजन ऑफ आवर फोन्स इज वेरी गुड. तो अगर मेरे को कोई थॉट आता है, जैसे मैंने टमाटर बोला, इफ आई राइट टमाटर, एवरी टाइम मेरा कोई टमाटर से रिलेटेड टेक्स्ट आ गया, एंड आई एम वेरी हैवी ऑन कोट्स, मेरे को याद रहते हैं. एंड लाइक आई सेड, either it is I'm always auditioning or always like kind of having it on or never having it on. But मेरा यहाँ पे counter ही है. I don't think it means you are not in the present moment. जैसे I think I'm fully in the present moment with you right now, and I was in the apart from those 20 minutes where I told you I'm getting याद है आपको? There was a time I told you 1 second, मेरे को 1 second सोचने दो. उसके अलावा I was fully in the present moment. You can be in the present moment, you can still have it on, they can coexist. This is what my theory is. It doesn't need to be कि मैं कुछ और नहीं सोच रहा. At that moment I wasn't thinking if we'll do a podcast or not. The thought he never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But since because of the professions we are in and stuff, I am like with the filmmaker mind, the casting mind, कि okay they'll look good while they are doing this, stuff like that. Go on Reza, and I'm super proud of it.
Well done. I'm also very proud of you.
Oh, this is what I wanted to hear ever since we met in Jaipur.
I'm not Matthew Perry's mom.
Such a good one. And where can people follow you if they ever want to get in touch with you?
They can follow me on Instagram, they can follow me on LinkedIn, and it's the fastest way to ever reach out to me. I reply to all my DMs.
Do people get to meet you in NAS Summit in any of the future episodes?
No, I realized that I got what I want out of it.
And
so
a thing that people might not know about Mansi, I don't know a lot about it myself, but we'll let you tell us about it. You also host a very beautiful awards ceremony.
Yes.
Tell us a little about it.
So you know the whole idea again, validation, acknowledgement, and I really feel like हमारे पास ये 30 under 30, 40 under 40, entrepreneur of the year, this, that, whatever, सब awards हैं. And it's been 10 years of running Kidstop Press and 9 years of the awards. There is nothing for anybody in the parenting and childcare category. And very early on, I realized that there has to be, because you are awarding hypothetically a best advertising. Okay, that's great, but why are you not taking a category so important that is life forming in a stage of a human being's life, right? You're playing with those toys, you're wearing those clothes, you're using that product, you're feeding that to your child. Every pack, every medicine says a disclaimer should be under prescription or used with caution for pregnant women or whatever, right? Why does that caution go away the minute the baby is out? Right? So therefore, we created these awards because largely this category is serviced by, and brands are created by, mom entrepreneurs who have taken a career break and are creating, they found a need gap and they're creating something very, very important for the child and parenting and childcare category. And started off with like maybe 10 categories and 50 nominations. Today we're like at 63 categories and 650 nominations with like 2,200 entries, 350 women entrepreneurs attending from all across the country. Some leaving their kids behind just to pack in a day trip to get a pat on the back for the amazing work that they're doing from the most remotest towns in the country. Some who've taken their businesses to billion-dollar valuations as well. And to me, just giving a pat on the back to that woman is extremely, extremely important. And building a fraternity and a community and saying that the parenting and childcare category is a very important one and should not be dismissed. Like we had the Creator Awards this year and I was searching for where is the parenting category? Like why is it not important to the national interest of this country when we have like close to 30 million children being born in the country every single year? Right? Why is that not of relevance to anybody?
Got it. No, that's amazing. And Mansi, like just some name dropping, is also very good friends with a person I would like to be friends with, Yuval Noah Harari.
Yes. Yes.
She has interviewed him.
It's my husband, when Yuval's interview happened, till then, he's never been starstruck. Like, he's just never thought that I was doing a good enough job. And he's never told me, oh, I want a picture with somebody. He's never even attended my talks, right? But the day he got to know that I closed on the interview and I said, the first thing I did was I called my husband and I said, you're going to be so proud of me. And he said, no ways. And I said, yeah. And then he's like, who's it? Roger Federer or Yuval? I said, Yuval. And that was the first time he came backstage, he wanted a picture, and the rest is history.
Amazing, amazing. So guys, go and watch that interview also. And this was amazing. Any plugs you would like to do before we end this? She also has a very good podcast on Spotify.
Yes.
And अभी मैं रास्ते में देख रहा था कि मैं ऑडियो नहीं सुन रहा था, वीडियो वाले देख रहा था. सिड के साथ भी अभी आपने पॉडकास्ट किया है.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Yeah.
He talks about the teenage brain.
Yeah. This was amazing. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes.
And let's do a part 2, part 3, part 4 of it over the years as you turn 45, 50, 55.
This guy's an ass. Please do not follow him on any channel, on any show. And if you're about 40, guys, please meet him because I think he absolutely has no clue how cool 40-year-old people can be.
Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you.